Hey y'all, this is AL with Madame. I hope y'all are having a good one. Today is Sunday. Yes, Lord. Look, I don't want to keep subjecting y'all to how rough my hair looks, so I figured I'd put my little head wrap thing on. This is a headband of sorts, and yeah, it really is. You can put it any type of way, but I didn't want to keep subjecting y'all to the horror that is this area. Like the braids right here are fine. It's just this because my scalp is so overly irritated, and I'm not taking my hair down until like Friday or Saturday. So I figured let me just try not to subject y'all to that no more because I looked at the playback of the last video that I uploaded. I was like, Lord, woo, child. Anyway, I feel as though if you have never seen The Chi, that you should go back and watch both season 1 and season 2. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and in my opinion, and from people who I've actually been around who have seen the show, I've never met anybody who has seen this show and had anything negative to say about it, or they were like, oh well, I wasn't really into it. Like I ain't never never met anybody that was like that. So I feel like this is a show that you might want to get into before you watch this or anybody else's commentary on it. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. So the episode started out showing one of the main characters running, and the main character is she is the sister of who now is, I guess you could say, he's the main character. I think they actually are gonna try to make it where she's the main character. I don't know why they don't have her right here. It's so weird. On the actual site, talking about casting characters, but they have her in like the main pick that I think I'm gonna use for this as like the focal point of it. And I'm like, why would her name not be on this main list? Y'all, anyway, her name is Kiesha. Kiesha Williams. And yeah, she's on the track team at her school. And the most went down last season with her, and I was tired. But anyway, y'all, they show her running across this lawn, and I'm like, okay, what's she running for in this dress, in these heels? Well, she was running late because her mother is getting married, and she's in her mother's wedding. Her mother is getting married to her partner, who goes by the name of Dre, if I'm not mistaken. And if you haven't guessed by now, she's a lesbian. But apparently she treats her well, so I'm like, yes, y'all better do that. And she lives for the kids, so again, I'm here for it. As long as people are treating the kids right, I don't really mind what you do. Do what you do, honey. Do what you do. But anyway, so she's running late for that. And everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. The wedding happens. And they actually show Keisha's brother, is his name Kevin? Yeah, Kevin. Kevin is about to leave. Now, this is before the wedding reception, and I'm guessing their weddings go the same way as everybody else's weddings. And when I say they, I'm talking about people who are from Chicago, not lesbian couples. Meaning, you have the regular ceremony, and then there's a moment afterwards where for a while they take pictures with the wedding party, and then everybody, eats and all that. Well, Kevin is going somewhere, and at first I was like, well, where is he going? The wedding ain't over yet. Is he not going to come back, and be there for the reception? Y'all, Kevin left and walked and got on a bus, and he literally went to a funeral. That is so sad. And I've heard that a lot of people in that area and certain parts of the DMV and all that, they have been surrounded by death so much. Yeah, like I was saying, they have been surrounded by death so much, meaning they attend so many funerals that it's like just a normal occurrence to them. And I just cannot imagine that. I am a person that I despise going to funerals. My mama used to have to make me attend funerals, even when I became of age. I never forget, there was this organ player at my church who passed away. And he was really sweet. He was really nice and all that. It was just sudden how he passed. But his birthday was on my birthday. they had the funeral. I forgot when it was, but I was just like, I can't. And my mama kind of really wanted me to go, more for support in a way, because nobody really was showing up. He didn't really have a big family like that, so it was just gonna be a few people from the church, and I forgot, like maybe one or two family members of his. So it were like more church members than anybody that was there. So I was just like, wow. I was already sad about it. I just don't like funerals. But if it hadn't been for my mama making me go, I wouldn't have gone. But Kevin is at this funeral, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, is this the funeral for his friend's brother? And the friend's brother is Jake. Jake is the one with the locks. And I'm trying to figure out, is that for him, or is this gonna be, you know, the moment where we see the ultimate like exit for the person who once was the main character, who was played by Jason Mitchell. Well, yeah, that's who the funeral was for. And, you know, the character's name on the show was Brandon. They end up finally zooming in on the picture, because I'm like, well, whose funeral is it? Everybody dressed in black, everybody looking all sad and somber. So I'm like, okay, who is it for? So, of course, it was for Brandon. It's crazy because when Kevin first came in, everybody basically was there who was going to be there at the funeral. So he's entering in, and the dude who from the last couple of seasons, who is an alcoholic, who is trying to get back with whose mama? Emmett's mama. He is trying to get in, and so he sees this child, and he was like, hey, young blood, you can vouch for me, right? That boy looked at him, and he was like, nah, man. And then they went on here, closed the door, went on by their business. So he stayed outside the whole time the funeral was going on. Y'all, Brandon's mama got up and she did her speech. And y'all know who Brandon's mama is. She's the woman who was in, was it The Wire? As the cop. And like in real life, she was doing drugs and some more. And I was like, Lord have mercy, ma'am. Wait a minute, let me find out what her name is in real life, because I don't know how I forgot it. I used to know her name off rip. Her name is Ty Davis, and her name is Tracy on here. But yeah, she has a boyfriend on here, and they were leaving and all this other stuff, and they were, you know, trying to get the house settled and fixed up so that they could sell it and get away from Chicago, because Chicago ain't here for nobody. Y'all, she got up there and did a speech. And she was just like, look, the last time I was in this church, my son got up and he said some things that a lot of people basically felt was too real and it was the truth, but didn't nobody want to hear it or accept it at the time. And, you know, thinking back on it, I respect it. And keep in mind, y'all, this woman lost her son to the dude who was outside, who killed him, thinking that somebody killed his son, which was not the case. Some other people killed his son, and it wasn't even his biological child. Like, y'all, that man tripped me out. I'm just like, anyway. But both of her children are now deceased. She literally only had one child left, Coogie gone. And that child, he was like a product of his environment, but he was really smart. He was really, you know, he wasn't about that life. He was not about that life, and he ended up getting killed by in the most ignorant and just crazy way, by the hands of somebody who was drunk and over here trying to accuse him of something that wasn't right. All he did was he saw his son's dead body and he took the necklace off of him, because they left him in the street for dead anyway. And he was kind of like, well, he ain't gonna need this. He took it. The man saw him with the necklace on and taking it off his son's neck, and he got away from him. And then later on, he caught up to him and he saw him and he was like, you killed my son. That's my son's necklace. And he tried to get a man the necklace. He ended up killing him. And it's like, you need to stop drinking, sir. Like, I'm tired. Anyway, y'all, she did this whole speech about how, you know, she grew up as somebody who was never loved. She didn't know what love was. She was definitely not prepared to be a parent, a mother, nothing. And, you know, she was just out here living life. So when she ended up pregnant with Brandon, he was the oldest. You know, she still didn't know nothing about love, and she, you know, didn't have nobody around her to show her what love looked like. But she realized later on in life that she was a vessel, and the vessel that was supposed to be there to bring her sons into this world. And, you know, they both left an amazing mark in this world, and that she was grateful that they lived because they are the ones who showed her what unconditional love looked like. Y'all, the funeral was over. Kevin was actually one of the pallbearers, and they loaded that boy's body into the back of the hearse. And I was just like, Lord, this is too much. And that man was still out there. He was on the steps drinking, and I'm like, bruh, you just won't stop. Like, you don't understand that all of your actions have consequences. And like, every time you look up, you think you're gonna do right, then you start drinking again, and then something pop off, and then it's like, you don't understand that this is the common denominator for you. You don't never be thinking rationally. You're always in your feelings. You ain't doing the stuff you're supposed to do. All the stuff that popped off with your mama, which is your grandmama, which she's so old looking, y'all. I done already said this before, that I felt like, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I thought that man was her son, but he is supposedly her grandson. And I was just like, where? Because that's how dusty and rusty and toe down that man be looking on the show. And I know that that's how they make him look, because like when he's not doing that character, he cleans up pretty, he cleans up pretty well. But y'all's toe down. That man is toe down. So anyway, I would have slapped him. He's standing all outside. The woman who is the son's mama, she went on about her business. I guess she's just over it. And y'all, I done forgot whether or not she knows that he's the one who killed the first child or got killed or whatever, y'all. I don't know. But that man told him, you need to take your rusty behind home. What you doing here? And read him about it's a disgrace for him to even try to be at the church and all this other stuff. And he just was like, I'm just trying to pay my respects just like everybody else. Lord, ain't nobody got time. So, I'm trying to think of his name without the first name. It starts with an O, don't it? Yeah, Otis Perry, who is the dude who Brandon was working with and he shouldn't have been working with, but he really wanted to get his food truck business off the ground. He rolled up on his mama and was like, you know, I just wanted to come to you and tell you that I'm very, very sorry for what happened to your son. Your son and I were getting acquainted and we were knowing each other, and you know, I just know that he was a great person, all this other stuff. She looked at him like, hey, who are you? My son ain't never mentioned you before. And she tried to walk off. And so he kind of stopped her and was like, look, if you ever need anything, you can call me no matter what it is. She politely took that card, threw it on the ground, was like, I don't want nothing from you, and went on about her business. And so her boyfriend was like, who is that? and she was like, I don't know, but let's get out of here. She trying to get in the, you know, family car and go on about her business, and Emmett rolls up, and she ain't here for it, even though she knows that he has taken over her son's business. And she was just like, what you want? What you got to offer too? Like, she's done. Like, she is over it. And, you know, he was just like, look, I just want to tell you that, you know, your son meant a lot to me. Like, I've been working with him. You know, your son is everything and all this other stuff. And so she was like, so what are you going to do? And so he was like, well, you know, I'm working and I'm, you know, trying to do what I need to do. And she wasn't trying to hear none of that. She was like, look, you need to get out of here because Chicago don't love nobody and Chicago ain't here for nobody. And I was just like, Lord, I wonder how the Chicagoans, or however you say that, I wonder how the people from Chicago feel, because whew, they be going in on this show when they talk about Chicago. Like, everybody's tired. And I mean, of course, I see the things that happen right in front of my eyes as far as stuff unfolded about how, oh, this is the deadliest weekend in Chicago history. And, oh, has been the deadliest weekend since however many years ago. And it's like, why? And I wish they would stop. And I already know my city be doing the most too. But it ain't nothing like Detroit and Chicago. They be doing the absolute most, y'all. So anyway, after Kevin went to the funeral, he actually went back to his mother's wedding reception and all that. And before they even finished getting married, the step parent to be she ended up presenting them with something, and it was like a bangle bracelet thing or whatever, and it had a pretty amazing symbolic type of meaning to it, and it actually had the coordinates to their home. And she was like, you know, this is the coordinates to the house, and it just represents home. No matter where you are in the world, you'll always know where home is. You'll always be home, or whatever, however she said it. I thought that was really cute. Y'all, people are, you know, kind of enjoying themselves at the wedding reception. You know, since Brandon isn't there, the food is trash. Somebody read that macaroni and cheese and the chicken. Some woman said, whoever made this macaroni and cheese need their throat slit. I was like, ma'am. And then the dude was like, yeah, whoever made that macaroni and cheese is probably the same person who made this dry, flavorless chicken, and proceeded to throw some hot sauce on it. I was like, Lord. But yeah, you know, he's not there. He's not the one making the food. You know what I'm saying? So pretty sure what's his name ain't got nothing going on for himself as far as, you know, in the kitchen is concerned. So the food is nasty. Later on, he actually linked up with the sister Kiesha. He saw her outside by herself sitting there, because she is not here for her mama's wife. She ain't never been here for her or whatever. I don't know if it's because of the basically non-existent and or fake relationship that she has with her actual father. But yeah, y'all, I can't. But she ain't here for her. And I mean, they just have not gotten along. And I'm like, dang, she actually is trying though. And Kevin, you know, a lot of people don't want to see other people come in and want to, I guess, take over or whatever. But he's been pretty cool about it. And he's the younger of the two. So, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But he's the boy. But you would think it would be a little bit even playing field when it came to that, or he would be very and just own it when it came to the girlfriend. But he has accepted her, so I'm here for it. I like that. Y'all, Jada, who is the woman who Emmett's mama, she came with his daddy. She needed a ride to the wedding. I'm like, Lord, why? So they came together. They were in the process of being about to screw before, and he is supposedly in the process of getting a separation from the wife. And I'm just like, why anybody marrying you? He got like 15, 20 children. I'm like, sir, I mean, he fine, but Lord, these other heifers don't know you got kids, and they don't know how to stop busting it wide open and telling you bring it back. Like, what is going? Y'all, last season when I saw how many kids that man had, I was like, somebody please make it stop. He fine, but goodness gracious, why is y'all trying to have all these children? And then, like, I think, like, some of those kids aren't even his, and he was, like, taking care of them. And when Emmett had to kind of briefly go over there and live with him because his mama kicked him out, he saw how he was doing for them, and he wasn't doing nothing for him and his mama. He kind of felt some type of way, which I understand. But yeah, y'all, it's just all too much. It is really all too much. So the wedding is still underway as far as the reception is concerned. And for once in life, Kiesha and Kevin are kind of like on the same page, and they're having a moment. But before they have their moment, she walks into the kitchen and she sees Kevin and his friends getting, you know, a little bit tipsy off of some good wine, and she's trying to indulge, but her new parent, official new parent, Drea or Dre or whatever her name is, I don't know. I haven't found her name anywhere, but their mom's wife, she's like, look, my song about to come on, they about to play my song. So they ended up playing the cha-cha slide, and everybody got the entire life. Everybody was dancing, and I liked how Kevin and Kiesha actually danced together. It was so cute, and you could tell that their mama was happy about it. So I was like, yes, Lord. Y'all, they end up showing Otis Perry meeting up with somebody that looks like he was on the level of what Reggie was doing, Reg or whatever he want to call himself. And so Otis looking at him like, so you gonna tell me what you wanted to see me for? And he was like, what you mean? You didn't invite me here? Man. Early in the episode, they actually showed Luke James's character on here. Is his name? Yeah, his name apparently is Victor. And they call him Trig because I think he's really good with his trigger finger. Let's just say, based off of what I just saw. But yeah, early in the episode, he in his feelings because apparently Jake is his brother. And they mama ended up giving or signing like custody over to Otis Perry. And I'm just like, bruh, I can't. But yeah, y'all, I'm just so tired in my spirit. Y'all, he killed that man something terrible and came out of the shadows. And so he's trying to figure out, what's going on. And Otis trying to make it seem like he didn't know who killed Reggie. And he was like, well, how you ain't figured it out? And I figured it out. But anyway, he is there on a mission because he wants Jake back. He wants custody of Jake. And he was like, well, I mean, your brother Jake tried to make it seem like you were dead. And he was like, well, let's just call this a resurrection or whatever, y'all. I was like, Lord, y'all doing the most. But he wants custody of Jake back. I don't know if he's going to be able to get it, but he was like, well, how much is it going to cost? And how valuable is he, basically? He was just like, look, your brother is very valuable. So he's trying to make it hard for him to be able to get his brother back. And I don't even know if he's gonna even want to have anything to do with him. But yeah, we gonna see. Luke James, if it ain't got nothing to do with singing, I ain't here for it. That's why I didn't understand why everybody was hollering and screaming over him when he was in Star. I'm just like, what is y'all looking at? But okay. I know I'm wrong, but I'm just saying. Y'all, anyway. So back at the house, after everything has, quieted down from the wedding, Kiesha is getting a little payment from her, new mom. And her mama looking at her like, why are you giving her this money? Why would you pay her for something like that? And so she was like, look, she 18 years old and she doing us a favor by basically watching her brother, kind of keeping an eye on him while they go, where they gonna go. I think they're going somewhere in Chicago, just to a hotel or whatever, to, get their honeymoon on. And, she ended up giving money for her to give to Emmett as well, because she promised to give him the other half of the money that was owed, despite him doing such a terrible job. She was just like, look, I see you trying. So any friend of Dre, that's her wife's name. Any friend of Dre's is a friend of mine. So, y'all, that food was so bad, they ended up ordering pizzas. And, like, he was in his feelings about it. And I'm just like, look, it is what it is. You are not Brandon. Brandon could throw down. So, I'm going to need for you to get in some culinary classes or something. Because apparently he can't cook at all. So, yeah. That's the situation that's going on. So they actually show them in the hotel room having a sexy moment, enjoying themselves, and yeah, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far, y'all. So it's the official first day that Kevin and his friends are gonna have the house to themselves. They smoking weed, doing the most. The sister is doing what he already told them was gonna go down, which is she ain't gonna be at the house most of the time. And they gonna have the house to themselves, so they can do what they want to do. So she came out looking like a streetwalker of sorts. I don't know why she wore that outfit. It's like, girl, it's like you doing the most. Anyway, Jake was acting thirsty, and so she was like, look, when I come back, the house better smell like weed. And so he was like, oh, well, you ain't gotta worry about that. I got whatever kind of spray set he had. And she said, that ain't gonna do nothing. And, went on about her business. So she actually went to Emmett and the ex-girlfriend or whatever she's supposed to be, the baby mama's house, which is where he lives, to drop off the rest of the money that her mama had, because her mama is the person who got married. And the baby mama gonna get in her feelings and all this other stuff. And so she was like, don't be coming up. If you're going to come over here, I ain't got no problem with you coming over here, but if you're going to come over here, don't be dressing like that. Don't be dressing like no hoe or something, she said. And so she was like, I ain't come over here to do nothing with your man. I'm dressed up for my man, not yours, and walked out the door. So she going on by her business. Emmett kind of like chases behind her and was like, hey, you know what you got going on? And all that. And like they had a like conversation where it was kind of like, he was like, well, did you give any thought to what I said earlier? And so she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get my stuff together and leave. And that's, you know, before she left out of the house. So, oh, girl, in her feelings. And I'm like, girl. I cannot. So anyway, he ends up chasing her out the door and was like, hey, have you given any thought to whatever school you're gonna go to or whatever? So she was like, yeah. Told him the school. And he was like, well, where that at? And she was like, in California. He was like, oh, so can I come visit you? And she was like, no. And so he was like, man, that's messed up. And so he told her, I always love you. And she looked at him sideways like, boy, if you don't get somewhere. And he was like, no, I'm for real. Like, you'll always have a place in my heart. And so, she was kind of like, and, went on by her business. Y'all, Luke James's character, Victor Trig, he has commandeered this house where him and the woman that he with, they're going to be doing all kinds of like illegal activities out of and all this good stuff or whatever. They feel like it's a good setup. They'll be able to set up different things throughout the house, out the back door, all this other stuff. And so his mama showed up. So he talking to the mama and was like, look, how much did you sell Jacob for? She said $5,000. And he was like, look, I'll give you 10. I need you to go down to the courthouse and tell them that you are fine and you are capable of taking care of him so I can have custody of him. And old boy ain't got to have custody of him no more. And so at first she was like, I don't think I could do that. And he went on to tell her, like, look, me and Reg ain't never been nothing. We ain't never had nothing to look up to. Cause you wasn't nothing or whatever. Like both of them got into it. And she was like, y'all daddies wasn't nothing. Like they went all the way off. I ain't had no help raising y'all. So I don't know what you thought it was gonna be. And so he was like, look, I ain't never had nothing. He is the only thing that's left in this world. And so she was like, well, I didn't know he meant that much to you like that. And so she was like, well, I guess I'll go down there and do it. Y'all, it took everything in his power to go and hug his mama and say thank you for, doing that or saying that you're going to do it. Because ain't no telling if she going to go through it with or not. Because she ain't, she ain't nothing. Y'all, Kiesha is at this bus stop. And I guess she waiting on old boy, that track coach or whoever it is to come scoop her up. And it's night. And I'm like, she got this outfit on. And the whole time I'm looking like, I ain't here for this. Y'all, old boy, who is the dude who I told y'all before, whose grandmama he was living with. Y'all, meanwhile, I gotta make sure I tell y'all this. He is basically evicted, not permitted to be in that house, which was her house. So he going around town drinking his sorrows away, like that's gonna help him to be able to pay some money in order to continue staying at the house. They done put the stuff out and everything. Like stuff is just sprawled out everywhere, all in the front yard. And I'm like, bruh, that's not gonna help you. Just drinking and looking crazy is not gonna help you all day. He walks by where she is and looked at her. And I was like, okay, what is this about? Y'all, so I get happy because I'm like, okay, the bus is right there. The bus is coming up the street. And so they show her in the thing. And then when it turns the corner, it looked like somebody's sitting there. But when the door opened, ain't nobody there. It looked like a jacket on the ground. And I'm like, did he snatch her and rape her? Like, what is going on? Or did somebody in the neighborhood snatch her up? Y'all, I'm tired. But anyway, hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review. I can't wait until next week. I love this show. Hopefully y'all like it too. I am looking forward to how it's gonna go. I don't know if they're gonna talk about Jason Mitchell anymore as far as the character is concerned. I don't know if we're gonna ever see the woman Jerica, who was the girlfriend who in real life he was inappropriate towards on the show, who is, of course, her real name is Tiffany Boone. Candy Burris is going to be in it, and she's going to play Otis Perry's estranged wife, and Lala Anthony is going to be in it. I don't know who she's supposed to be playing, somebody named Dominic or Damo or whatever she's going to be named. But anyway, I will see y'all later on for something else. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate all of the love and support. Have a good one. Bye.